It's Sunday night, and we're at dinner time, and I am feeling better, so I made pizza. We were supposed to have this on Poor Kaz's birthday party, which was supposed to be Saturday, which had been postponed already from the 6th. Poor fella had the bad taste to be born on the 2nd of January, so unfortunately I think we're just going to be celebrating his half birthday party. So anyway, I had the ingredients for making pizza, so I went ahead and did that. This is sausage and Canadian bacon. I'm wondering what Canadians call it. Do they just call it ham? Or do they just call it bacon? And then with what we call bacon, do they call that American bacon? Or do they call it rashers like the British? I don't know. If you know, tell me. And then here's a cheese pizza. If you'll notice, it's a little more orange, and that's because we had mozzarella and Colby shredded, not enough for just mozzarella, so it's a mix. And there we go. That is Sunday night. It's Monday night, day 2 of the pantry challenge of week 2. Day 2, week 2. Is that a robot from Star Wars? Anyway, I pulled this out of the freezer. I very intelligently did not label it. I have no idea what's in here, but this is what we're having for dinner tonight. For lunch and breakfast, actually. The kids had the leftover pizza from yesterday. So now you can be with me as we figure this out. I'm thinking it is cooked venison. I think is what it is. Let's cut open our vacuum bag. Does anyone reuse these things? I feel like you wouldn't get the grease out. I was correct. It is cooked venison. Or roast beef. I don't know. Something like that. So now I'm going to have to rack my brain. It's 4:40. And figure out what exactly we're going to have. It's probably going to be 2 nights worth of dinner at least. There's quite a bit of meat there when you're putting it in something. So I'll get back to you once I figure out what I'm doing with it. What I'm going with is a Chinese savory beef recipe out of the More with Less cookbook. And the way the rice does to be cooked is with a tablespoon of butter or oil. I have butter that I melted last night and used for dipping the pizza crust in. So I'm just going to use that in there instead of using fresh. All in keeping with the pantry challenge. We're going to use every bit. So I'm going to put that in there for cooking the rice. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. It's going to be rice, buddy. It's going to be rice.
For dinner?
Yes.
Yay.
Here's what it looks like all plated up. Veggies, meat, and it's actually roast beef that the fire department gave us that was left over from the beef and the oyster and roast beef dinner. So they're always worried we're gonna starve, but we had a ton left. So here we are. It wasn't venison at all. It is Tuesday, and I have to leave early for a doctor's appointment before work. And this is called Burgos. It's not cooked yet. That's why it doesn't look too appetizing. But it's from the More with Less cookbook. It's El Burgos. I put it together last night since I didn't have work last night. So it's potatoes, ground sausage that's already browned. And I threw some peas in there. The Burgos recipe does not call for peas. It does call for brown sugar to be mixed with tomato sauce. But I don't really like sweet with my savory. So I left that out. So it's just tomatoes. And because I use tomatoes instead of tomato sauce. And then it's sharp cheddar. And you just layer that in there. And then you let it cook. So that's the More with Less cookbook. And it is Tuesday. And we'll see you tomorrow. This is tonight's dinner. It's Wednesday night. And my plan had been to just make 1 crock pot's worth of meal. It didn't work out that way. It's kind of like making soup. It just expands. So anyway. It's a Cowboy Macaroni, and that is the leftover roast beef. Usually use ground beef, but I had the roast beef, so we're using that. And then cans of tomatoes, a couple of cans of plain tomato sauce, not spaghetti sauce, but plain tomato sauce. And some kidney beans, pinto beans, and some corn. And then chili powder and cumin and salt and garlic powder. And then when you put it in the crock pot, and all the macaroni is like al dente, and then you put it in the crock pot with cheese. So you're supposed to just cover it with cheese, but I put cheese in between layers because can you really have too much cheese? I'm pretty sure you can't. And then this extra I'm just going to put in a bag, and I'm going to label it for freezer use because that's literally a whole another crock pot full, maybe more. So there we go. This is really not the best looking of my meals like ever. It's supposed to be dirty rice, but dirty rice you typically do in a skillet, but I'm not going to be home to do it. So I forgot that the kids had a game day for today and we're finally feeling well enough to go out in public. And so I just threw together extra rice, extra browned sausage, a can of mixed vegetables, and a little dollop of extra pizza sauce that I had to add a little bit of flavor. Unfortunately, it looks terrible. I'm sure it'll taste all right, but there we go. That is Thursday night, and we got to go. It's Friday, and the people are having leftovers. So we have the leftover El Burgos. That's what's in here. One of the kids didn't eat theirs hardly at all, so they just covered it with plastic and put it in there. And then we have the Cowboy Mac left. And I think there's a thing of rice. Yeah, it's not in here, but there's a thing of plain rice. And then there's also some plain sliced potatoes. So what we do for this, we call it smorgasbord night. Everything gets pulled out and everyone makes their plates, puts them in the microwave, and then whatever's left, off to the chickens. Although there's quite a bit here, so maybe not. Maybe we won't do that till tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Saturday, and it's the last day of the second week. However, my grandmother's 90th birthday is that day, and they're having a special catered lunch for her at like 2 o'clock, so we won't be doing dinner. Lunch will probably be whatever's left over from here, actually. And we have some hot dogs down in here that people can eat if they want those. And but otherwise, I'm not cooking. So this is the end. We're just going to call this the end of this video, since there's no reason to film the buffet. If this kind of thing is of interest to you, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.